Russian occupiers, Scout and Davlet, who surrendered to the Ukrainian armed forces in the Kostiantynivka area, recounted how they crawled through a sewer pipe for over 2 days to unfurl a tricolour flag for a picture. A video of the interrogation of the prisoners was released by the 12th Special Forces Brigade, Azov. Why do Russians love the sewers so much? It's a story about underground sleds, flagships at any cost, and endless meaty assaults. It's also about the humane treatment of prisoners by the Azov soldiers who strive to return their captive brothers, the brigade explained. Pavel Nikolaev, call sign Davlet, says he fell for the contract like a stupid puppy. The soldier, born in 1989, served in the 150th Division. According to him, when it became clear that everyone was being assigned to assault troopers, panic broke out among the Russian soldiers. The older men were especially frightened, realizing they had been designated suicide bombers. As Davlet recounted, they were ordered to infiltrate the Ukrainian armed forces' rear through a sewer pipe. They waded through waist-deep water through a 90-centimeter diameter pipe. It was simply impossible to navigate through it. They traveled for 2.5 days using carts. They slept for only an hour and half the entire time. It was hell. While we were crawling through the pipe, we lost everything. Backpacks were cut on stalactites. Our vests were damaged. All the grenades were lost there. Even the fuses, the soldier says. As the Russian said, he had a hallucination. It seemed as if there was a starry sky above him. Evgeny Latukin, Scout, born in 2002, was sent to the front at the instigation of his mother, who allegedly believed he would serve in Russia. He said he suffered a nervous breakdown while in the pipeline. I started getting hysterical because you don't know how far back, how far forward. There's no water. You're running out of food. There are about 10 more people crawling behind you, urging you on. It's damp, cold, and the wind is blowing. Scout explained that the only thing he hoped for was not to die in the pipe. When the occupiers reached their destination, they continued to move across open terrain for some time. A little later, they received a message from their command that a gift would be dropped by drone. However, instead of the food and water they had expected, the Russians received the tricolour flag. They were ordered to unfurl it in a populated area to simulate the seizure of territory. The prisoners say they themselves are shocked by this attitude from their commanders. Recall in March, reports emerged that Russian troops had taken an unusual approach to trying to get behind Ukrainian lines in Russia's Kursk region, crawling through a defunct section of a pipeline that once carried Russian gas to Europe via Ukraine. Soon after, the Ukrainian side confirmed the attack, but said its forces had detected the movement in time and launched strikes as Russian troops tried to emerge. While many pro-Russian outlets have portrayed the ongoing offensive near Sudza as a success, some pro-war bloggers and propagandists have criticized the pipeline strategy as poorly planned. The Ukrainian military said they weren't caught off guard by the underground raid. According to Ukraine's general staff, reconnaissance units from the air assault forces detected the Russian troops in time, allowing Ukrainian forces to target them with missile and artillery strikes.
Ukrainian military intelligence has conducted a sabotage operation against Russian occupation forces near Berdyansk in Ukraine's southeastern Zaporizhzhia region, targeting members of the Akhmet unit allegedly involved in illegal fuel trafficking. According to Ukraine's main intelligence directorate, the strike took place on November 29 in temporarily occupied territory outside Berdyansk. HUR stated that together with local resistance forces, they identified and attacked a group of Russian fighters associated with Chechen leader Ramzan Kadyrov. The group was reportedly running a black market fuel scheme involving stolen diesel. The operation was carried out in 2 stages. Intelligence operatives discovered that the Akhmet fighters were selling fuel at a fixed roadside location. Ukrainian forces mined the site, then detonated explosives during a gathering of the group. According to HUR, the initial blast caused surviving members to flee, while a second explosion targeted a new vehicle that arrived at the same location shortly afterward. Both vehicles used by the group were reportedly destroyed. The total number of casualties among Russian personnel is currently being verified. The HUR emphasized that the operation was part of ongoing efforts to disrupt logistical and financial schemes within Russian occupying units. The Akhmet unit has been active in various occupied areas and has previously been accused by Ukrainian officials of running illicit businesses in coordination with local collaborators. In late July, HUR Special Forces conducted another successful ambush on Akhmet fighters near the village of Velika Bilozerka in the Zaporizhzhia region. The group advanced more than 30 kilometers into occupied territory, eliminated 3 Russian National Guard soldiers, and returned without losses. As a result of a vehicle detonation, 3 Akhmet fighters were neutralized. During the operation, intelligence was also gathered on enemy logistics, equipment, and command posts, HUR added. Earlier, a Dagestani fighter from Russia's 270th Akhmet Kavkaz regiment surrendered to Ukrainian forces in Zaporizhzhia, saying he was coerced into service and deployed to the front, while Chechen troops stayed in rear positions.
Reports claiming that Russian forces have entered Hulyaipole in the Zaporizhzhia region are not true. Ukraine's defense forces destroyed Russian troops attempting to enter the town, according to the Center for Countering Disinformation and the Ukraine's National Security and Defense Council. The reports about Russian troops entering Hulyaipole do not correspond to reality. In fact, Ukraine's defense forces destroyed the Russians who tried to enter the town and stabilize the situation in this sector of the front. The statement reads, "The head of the Center for Countering Disinformation, Defense Forces Officer Andriy Kovalenko, and the spokesperson for the Southern Defense Forces, Vladislav Voloshin, confirmed this information." Voloshin said that the command took the necessary steps to stabilize the area. In particular, additional reserves were sent to that area. All measures are being taken to prevent any Russian advance into the town by spreading such disinformation.